talking.
If you have JBL the Creature speakers, then after a while what you find is that the satellite speakers start to go out and distort. Now what I did was I got myself some speakers like this. These are a little over $5 each, and unfortunately they came wrapped in a packet like this, and they were banging against each other, so the center domes are damaged. I'm hoping that that's not going to affect the sound. First of all, what I want to do is to just highlight what the problem is and the distortion that I'm getting from these speakers. So let's have a listen now to Moonlight Sonata, and we'll listen to this before and after. So here's the before. So in order to do this repair, I'm going to need just a few pieces of equipment: screwdriver, soldering iron, and some solder. Now if you haven't done soldering before, I'll just show you how to do that. There are some other considerations when we put these speakers in. Of course, I'm going to disconnect these first. We have the light is actually on, if you can see that. So we need to disconnect the power, and then I'll be taking off the 4 screws on the bottom of here. Take those out and pull this apart, and then we'll see what we're up against. Okay. These have a removable connector, looks like. So I'm actually going to use one more tool, a needle nose pliers, and see if I can just pull those off easily. Okay, that's one. Here's a screw with a plastic piece that holds a speaker in place. So here's the first speaker where I took the speaker out, and we'll see there's a red wire and a black wire, and I pulled out the speaker which has this surround to hold it in place. Now this speaker and the one I bought is a little bit different. Let me see if I can summarize the problem with this speaker that I bought and the one that came out. The one that came out is a different size. What I bought was actually, if I measure the outside of this, it looks like it's a metric size. I measure the outside diameter, it's 40 millimeters. In America we use inches, so if I switch over to inches, it's 1.57, yeah, about 1.57 inches. So the problem is, this is a little bit bigger than what came out. What came out is 1.46. All right, so it's over 0.1 inch. It's like 0.11 inch, is it? Bigger. So here's the front that I took out, and here's the inside. These two snap together to fasten on the front. So what you need to do, what I need to do right now, is to figure out a way of getting this so that it sits in here nicely. Now it does, I want to be careful with this because I don't want to damage the you know, the rubber surrounding, but I can just sit that on top of there and it will fit. But I'm just concerned if the you know, the rubber part is going to be rubbing on some of these. There's some ridges in here. So what I've decided to do is I have a Dremel tool. So I'm going to remove these ridges in here, and then I think I will. I don't know if I'm going to make a groove for this thing to sit in it, but I may just glue this in place. So I've cleared away these ridges all the way around the inside of this, and this will fit together with the speaker so that there is clearance for this to be able to move in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a hot glue gun, which is warming up right now. Ouch! It's not really hot. All right, and I have to act quickly because once I put this hot glue, it's going to go hard fairly soon. So just a point here, if you decide to go ahead and do this, when you start to grind this, I have a little tiny grinder, you know, a little Dremel tool. You know, the fumes coming off this are probably not good for you. So then the next step is I'm going to put some of this stuff around so that it's going to hold it in place. Once this is in place, it's going to be held in place by this other piece. So I think once it's in there and there's some pressure against it, it's not going to go anywhere. There's no rehearsal for this, so let's see if I can get this right first time. All right, so I'm just going to go around the edge and see if I can make a nice little bead around the edge of this thing. Without getting too much on the inside. Okay, now I'm going to have to act quickly. Make sure that I've got the right orientation, and I don't want to get this stuff all over get that glue all over the speaker, the rubber part of the speaker. So I'm just looking at this around the edge just to make sure that it looks like it's in a good position. And I don't like the way that's sitting up like that right now. Did I let the glue dry too long? That's possible. That's possible. Alright, so I'm going to press down on that. Let's see. So I'm pressing down on this, and I think that glue's probably set already. So that's the one chance. You get one shot at this thing, and that's it. It's on there. Now actually what I see in here that it's some of that hot glue has turned hard, and it's actually touching the rubber. So I hope that's not going to be an issue. I'm going to get ready to put this back in place. I'm going to see if I crimp this. Where's my pliers? So I'm going to squeeze these terminals a little bit so that it closes up. It closes this up a little bit. I think that's going to work. Now, here's the thing, I think I mentioned it before, but this has a plus and a minus, and I want to make sure that when I put these on that the plus, the red wire goes on the plus, and the black wire goes on the minus. If you don't do that, and especially if you get one wired one way and one the other, then you can have a phase effect, which is it's not going to be the best sound. In fact, you can have some cancellation going on because of the out of phase, and also it's not going to be in phase with the woofer. Now this is kind of a tweeter and kind of a, I guess, kind of a tweeter and a mid-range. So these are important speakers. So I squeeze the one. I'm going to squeeze this one. Let's just continue this. So let's squeeze those together. Yeah, I think this, so without using the soldering iron, I think this is going to work. So I'm squeezing this until you have these little, you know, the terminal is kind of like this if I blow it up. So what I'm doing is I'm squeezing these so that when you slide, you know, you slide these terminals on, it's going to be biting into the terminal on the speaker. All right, so I'm going to reassemble this. Okay, so here's the front piece. Here's the housing. I'm going to put this in place so that the JBL logo is on the top. Go in. Actually, you know what? It seems like the best way is to put this in first and then snap the front on. So if you can see this, those little bumps there, I'm going to push this in, and then let's see how that is. That doesn't seem to snap on, but I think once the front goes on, this will lock these pieces in place. Let's right. Here we go. Push this in place. Okay, so that seems to have, yeah. Okay, so that's, everything's gone in there. So now the next step is to see if this is going to hold it in place. I might get lucky. So if I put this in here, there's actually a gap in here. So if I put this in, I see that if I put, let's say about 1/8 of an inch gap, if I put some material in there, then I could use this and it would hold it in place. Okay, so I've come up with my solution to this. What I'm going to do is use what we call a penny here in the United States. It's a 1-cent coin, and I'm going to use the hot glue gun and stick it on the back of the magnet. Now this is made up of 88% copper and 17% nickel. It's non-magnetic, so it should not interfere with the magnet on there. So I'm going to put some of this, actually I think I'm going to put this onto, put some hot glue, if this is warmed up again. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back of this speaker. Try not to get this stuff all over the place, and just put that right in place without messing around too much. I like to centralize it if I can. I like it to be central. Okay, that's already drying. My gosh, that's so fast to dry. Okay, then I'm going to put this in place and put the screw in place so that it pushes down on the glue. And I think that will do the trick. Looks like everything's in there nice and firm. So the speaker's in. ready to try and connect it. Okay, so I've got this ready, and I'm going to try and reassemble this before tackling this other speaker. Now this other speaker, you might think it's the same thing, but this has the addition of these controls, so there's more there are more components in this, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. This is the easy one. So I'm going to turn this upside down and make sure once again there's a plus symbol right there, and this is the back, that's the front. So this, the red wire has to go onto the plus. Let's see how that's going to work here. If you can see this or not. Let's see if that will go on there. Okay, that's sliding on nicely. Okay, and the other side, I don't know if you can see this, so I'm sliding the black one onto the minus terminal on the speaker right now. And I think that's going to do the trick. So I don't know if you can see this, but everything went in nicely with that penny, which is actually raised up a little bit because the hot glue started to dry. Looks good. So I'm gonna put the screws back in, and I'm gonna wait to test it. I'm gonna do both of them. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Now the more difficult one. It's more difficult because we have these plus and minus. These are the volume controls. And let's see here. I don't want to pull this apart and dislocate the wires and everything. So this one actually has something on here. There's some wires that are actually connected. Okay, so this is, yeah, the terminals for these little switches, which I guess are just sensitive. I guess when you're touching these things, you're actually grounding out something, and it's that way it senses that you touched it. So I'm going to take out, in this case, I'm going to take out, there's some screws here for those little switches. I'm going to take those off because without doing that, it's going to be difficult to have access to everything. So this little switch, this little contact thing here feels like this is going to come out. Right, so that little screw there, don't want to lose that one. Screw. Now I'm going to take note here because this is on the right side is the plus, and it's got a yellow wire. Another reason why it's good to videotape yourself. So the yellow is the plus, and in this other side you have a white wire going to the minus. Take out that little button there. Now we're back to the same situation with the speaker there, and I'm going to get that screwdriver in here to take out the speaker. Okay, take that out. The screwdriver is not magnetic. Okay, all right, and then this little plastic wedge comes out, and again, what I can do here, I think this whole thing can just pop out actually. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so now that I'm a bit more familiar with this, if you separate this, then it's easier to deal with. So that's the piece that I'm going to have to clean up a little bit for the new speaker, and I'm going to take the wires off these terminals just using the the needle nose pliers just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, on this side. Okay, good. All right, so that's the old one. And now I'm going to clean this up, put this back together. So one more time now with the hot glue gun. I'm not going to mess around this time. I'm going to keep quiet, and I'll put the glue around here, put this on without any hesitation. So I just want to make sure that's it. Work quickly. You've got no time. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, that's it. So the next step will be to put this back, just like the other one. Take the glue gun out. So the good thing with the hot glue gun is that you can start to work with it immediately. I forgot to put my penny on, but that's all right. I'm going to stick. I already unplugged the glue gun because I forgot, and I'm going to do that right now. I think it might still be hot enough just to have a little bit there. Put that penny on. Press down on it, then it's not going to be fine, I think. All right, that's already stuck. Okay, and then this should be able to go in place. That looks like it will do the trick. You know what? I might need another penny for this one. So I'm going to put a second penny on there, and I think it'll be good. Okay, there's my second penny. So this gets 2 pennies. Wow, this one's expensive. Okay. All right, that's now. Hopefully this will pull it in place. Yep. Okay. In place. So that's that. That's. Now I'm going to assemble the rest of this. The red goes on the plus. Before doing anything else, I'm going to squeeze these terminals, kind of crimp these up a little bit. Just squeeze them together with the needle nose. This is just sliding that one on, if you can see that. Buttons, the plus was on the right, which was connected, must be to the yellow. So that one has to go back with that little screw. Okay, that's the yellow wire. Okay, done. Almost there. Almost there. Let's see if this is going to go back together. Okay, so now we're ready. Got them assembled, got them working. Let's do Moonlight Sonata again, just for the first minute. Definitely better than the first ones. I don't actually know whether this is going to be whether this MP3 file was that great quality to begin with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can see if the CD player will work on this computer. So let's try that. So if you found this useful, please click the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and as always, stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you soon.